Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Data Partnership. So this video is continuation of my previous two videos on groundwater regulations and guidelines. So actually I this was earlier presentation was related to technical discussions, technical details of guidelines and regulation for sustainable groundwater use. Link of this video I will give you in the description box. So what I did is basically key policy changes, exemptions of NOC, and sector specific guidelines and technical and compliance requirements, right? All discuss key numbers means what are the values, threshold, limit, right? So and what are the rates of groundwater abstraction and restoration charges for different category. So this is for domestic and drinking water use, and this is for categorical for safe, semi-critical, and critical. Similarly for over-exploited area, and then infrastructure project. What are the charges, right? And similarly for mining projects, and this is for the bulk water supply. So we ended up here that this will be the so these topic will be covered in this video. So first is that abstraction of saline groundwater and protection of wetland. So basically this is from the guidelines, the compendium of I have taken from this compendium guidelines notifications of CGWA. Actually this is started from 1909, right? And up to 2020. 2020 is the main guideline amended in 2023. So uh, we are on this 2000 guidelines which were issued in 2020. So the sections up to section 6 we have covered earlier presentation, and now this is section 7 for abstraction of saline groundwater. So what are the key provisions? Extraction of saline groundwater is encouraged for use by industries, mining and dewatering projects, even in overexploited area. No groundwater abstraction charges will be levied for such extraction. This is important thing. So what will be the condition applies to area having saline groundwater at all depths or saline pockets in fresh zones? List of such areas will be published by CGWA on its website. So industry must ensure safe disposal of effluents to avoid pollution of aquifers and water bodies. Detailed guideline will be issued separately. I will come to on these. This will be a separate discussion. Basically, important thing is the disposal of effluents, right? If you are using saline water and we are using it, and after that the effluents should not be disposed at aquifers area to avoid the pollution. Another one is protection of wetland areas. Wetland reflect groundwater presence and are crucial for ecological balance. We all know about it. Excessive groundwater development near wetland may lower water level and harm the wetland ecosystem. This is right. So what are the conditions then? Within 500 meter of demarcated wetland periphery must submit a detailed proposal proving that abstraction will not impact the wetland. We have to do the impact assessment whether it will impact or not. Prior approval consent from the wetland authority is also required. This is mandatory basically, right? Before NOC granted. So protection of wetland is managed by wetland authority under separate framework. So what are the these two we have covered. Now what are the general compliance conditions? So one is digital water flow meter with telemetry. This is important. We discussed in previous uh, video also. So there will be a separate discussion on it. So must install BIS IS compliant digital flow meter on abstraction structure with telemetry system. Installation must be reported to CGW within 30 days of NOC issuance through the web portal. So we have already told that this approval NOC you can apply for through online. Annual calibration. Flow meter must be calibrated once every year by authorized agencies. Rainwater harvesting recharge. Mandatory installation of rooftop rainwater harvesting and recharge system in the project area. Payment of charges. User must pay groundwater abstraction or restoration charges as per the section 6 based on the volume of groundwater extracted. We have discussed in earlier video. Observation well, piezometers. Construction of or purpose-built piezometer is mandatory. We have discussed this in sector 15, in section 15. Water level data must be shared with CGWA via the web portal. Right? This is important for monitoring. So groundwater monitoring also it should be through the NABL accredited uh, labs. Data must be uploaded to the portal. Defunct and replacement well. If an existing well falls within NOC validity, replacement allowed with intimation to CGWA. Defunct well must be sealed properly. New location require fresh NOC. This is one of the important. If you are creating new one, then you have to take the fresh NOC. Green belt water use. So wherever feasible, recycled or treated wastewater should be used for horticulture and green belt irrigation. Change of ownership. New owner must apply update NOC with documentary proof within 60 days of taking possession. This is an important thing. Next is monitoring of compliance of NOC section 10. So there should be MIS. A detailed dedicated MIS will be developed to track the monitoring compliance NOC conditions for all categories of groundwater users. Role of district authority, DC and district collector or district magistrate. So they are responsible for enforcing the compliances, including sealing unauthorized obstruction structure, disconnecting electricity to violators, launching prosecutions against NOC violation, imposing environmental compensation as per law. Technical oversight by CGWB State Groundwater Authority. Authorized technical officer from this CGWB, CGWA and State UT Groundwater Department will conduct periodic inspection and monitoring with prior approval from competent authority. Penalty of violation. Any violation will lead to penalties and enforcement action as specified in section 16. So there are you can renew also renewable or no NOC in section 10 and 11. So application timeline 90 days before the NOC expiry date, you have to renew this. Submission requirement. Renewable application must include a compliance report. There are format is there. Verification by authority. This should be verified from the uh, compliance before granting renewable, whether it is CGW or state authority. Changes in area category. If assessment unit category changes safe to semi-critical, renewable will be granted with revised condition applicable to the new category. Because suppose some block, one block where if any industry in any particular category, like earlier it was safe, now it's a semi-critical or critical, then things will be changes. Then period. Then infrastructure project of drinking and domestic use and urban water supply 5 years. Industry 3 years, mines 3 years. All users in overexploited area will be 2 years. They have to renew the things. So then deemed extension. If renewable is applied for an one time, but CGWA state authority delays processing, then NOC shall be deemed extended until renewable is formally issued. This is important part. Then delay or non-submission. If a user fails to apply within 3 months after expiry, they must pay environmental compensation for the period between expiry and actual renewal. Then this extension of NOC. Sometimes after receiving a NOC certificate, the groundwater extraction project proponent may not be able to construct well within a approved period, perhaps due to delay in land acquisition funding. You can understand there are a lot of things to do right mm, before the construction of well. In such genuine cases, guidelines allow them to apply for an extension of the NOC. So there are provision for that. So there are clear rules. The extension must justify with supporting documents. All the same condition as a fresh NOC will apply. The extension can be granted only once. and for maximum 2 years. If even after that the well isn't constructed, the applicant must apply afresh for a new NOC. This ensure accountability, prevent indefinite holding of permission, which could otherwise lead to misuse or unsustainable abstraction planning. Right? Then delegation of powers. This is also in section 13. Then enforcement compliance at the level local level, right? So CGWA delegate power to DM, collectors, subdivisional magistrate to act against illegal groundwater withdrawal. So what they have to do is authorized to seal. These officers are authorized to seal unauthorized wells, disconnect electricity, launch prosecutions, handle public grievances, right, related to groundwater violation. To make monitoring more effective, state duty department, particularly for revenue industries, are also be involved in authorized officers. That all depends on the state department. Additionally, every NOC issued through NOCAP portal is shared with the connected district magistrate, ensuring local authorities are informed and can act quickly in case of violation. So, what is the summary? So, in short, these two sections strengthen implementation and enforcement. Section 12 prevent NOC from being misused or kept to take pending indefinitely, or section 30 decentralize power and empower local authorities uh, uh, action against illegal groundwater extraction. So so what are the section 14 groundwater level monitoring of the groundwater guidelines? So these are the basically why it is important. You all know that groundwater extraction often happen without site level data. So now mandatory to piezometer, mandatory piezometer, each project become data point for monitoring. So at least they have data now, helping both the proponent and authorities maintain sustainable use. By measuring water level monthly, the trend like seasonal decline, overuse, or recovery can be clearly observed. So at least this is important for industries because they if they are tracking the data or monitoring, then they so it will reduce their risk, right? To to basically uh, to run their sustainable business, right? So we can these are the number of piezometer to be constructed and type of water level monitoring mechanism. So this is, you can see, if it is less than 10 cubic per day withdrawal, then number of piezometer is no piezometer DWR is not required. If it is greater than 500, then two piezometer manually 0, DWLR 1 with telemetry 1. So so the guideline also specifies the piezometer should tap the same aquifer as pumping well, ensuring the data truly reflect the impact of extraction of the ground wearing layer. Now, environmental compensation is also there. What it means? If industry infrastructure project or mining unit extract groundwater illegally, right? That is without the approval of NOC, such extraction is treated as a violation under the law. So what then they have to pay the environmental compensation for the entire quantity of water extracted during the period of violation. This creates strong deterrent against unauthorized groundwater withdrawal and encourages all users to regularize their operations. So, how compensation is calculated? So there is a formula: EC equal to environmental clearance equal to compensation equal to groundwater consumption per day, meter cube per day, and ECR. ECR is environmental compensation rate, and number of days, and deterrence factor. So deterrence factor is a multiplier that increases the penalty for repeat or large scale violation. So these are the rate of environmental compensation. So basically, this is for packaged drinking water unit, and this is for mining, and this one is of the industries. So basically, for this rate, this is highest for the industries. You can see here in over exploited area, it is 80, 120, 160, and 200 per meter cube, right? So the minimum EC shall not be less than 1 lakh rupees. This is one of the biggest things. So there are uh, high environmental compensation which is required. And another one is deterrent factor for illegal groundwater extraction. So deterrent factor for environmental compensation, these factors make penalty proportional to both the quantity and duration. of illegal groundwater extraction. So ensuring larger or longer violation face much higher fines. So this is important thing. So so basically, if less than 1000 KLD, KLD means kiloliter per day. So if deterrent factor is 1 year, and this is for 1.25 for 1 to 3 years, and for more than 3, it's a 1.5. So you can see how it is increasing. So now these guidelines, finally, what we can say that these guidelines that any illegal groundwater extraction is penalized based on both how much water was withdrawn and for how long the violation continues. So this is the formula. So, like for example, a small industry extracting less than 1000 KLD illegally for few months faces a smaller multiplier. If anybody is drawing more than over 5000 KLD for several years, could face double the penalty due to the deterrence factor reaching up to 2. So this is the thing, and this one is penalty provisions. So there are the provisions for if anybody is non-installation and faulty digital flow meter with telemetry system, then they have final charges for 2 lakh rupees. And non-disclosure construction and of additional groundwater abstraction structures. So there are, you can see, different things, different rates. Reporting of fresh water zones as brackish and saline zone in application 2 lakh. Non-installation of piezometer 2 lakhs. Non-installation faulty DWRR telemetry system 1 lakh. So you can see how big it is. So non-submission of self-compliance reports, 1 lakh. So submission of false information undertaking, 1 lakh. Non-registration of water supply tankers, 5 lakh. So you can see there are, and highly, these are the very high fines, right? So proposed charges for correction, modification in existing issued no objection certificate. Changes in recharge quantum, 10,000. Change in user ID, 5,000. So better to ensure, basically these are the guidelines to ensure the sustainable use of groundwater so that everybody can be benefited to maintain the environmental condition, ecological conditions are more sustainable. So guys, I think these are the, I hope you understood this and these are the guidelines. If you need more information, then please comment on the box. Uh, Definitely there are going to be more session on this, and these looks more theoretical. Of course, these are theoretical, but I tried to. Otherwise, you have to write all the this PDF what I showed you, right? So I have just extracted from this PDF only. So what are going to come now is other important points: estimation and water requirement of for drinking water, uh, drinking and domestic use, specification of flow meters, technology companies who are the companies who are basically providing those technologies like flow meter, piezometer, uh, and groundwater. What is the groundwater data and how to access that and how to collect that. One video, my first video was that how to download time series data from India Varis, right? And use of groundwater data, how to use the groundwater data using Python and some GIS exercises. That's it. Thank you very much, and please subscribe. And if you have any specific query related to that, so please comment and share my video. Thank you.